Hey, what's up YouTube? It's a Crypto back at it with another Season 3 Smite build, and today we're doing the God Mercury. As you can tell by the title, we'll be doing a jungle build, and with that, let's jump right in. So to start off with your starter items here, you're going to want to get Tier 1's Boombas, Tier 1 Boots, and as well as 3 healing and mana pots. And now for your first relic, it's going to be highly dependent on what the other team comp is. If they have a lot of hard TC and stuff like that, Purification will always be your number one option. Or if they don't have that much CC, I would always recommend going into Wrath. Mainly just because Wrath gives you a lot of pressure, especially on early game Gold Furies. Remember, you are Mercury, you can do that. And as well as being able to contest Fire Giant, you know, ulting in there, pressing Wrath, and then using your 3 to get away. This item, it just brings a lot to the table, and I always think that it should be picked up on junglers. So then, after you go to lane, fist some people to death, the first item you're going to fish off is your boots. Just like on all assassins, the best option is always going to be Warrior Tabi here. You have a higher damage output late game, as well as Ninja Tabi just doesn't give you that much physical power. Gives you some mana, which is okay, but you really just want, like I said, the high damage output late game. Finally, after you finish your unnecessary boots, the next item you're going to want to get is going to be Poison Star. Reason why I go into Poison Star is because it gives you 30 physical power, which is pretty decent. 15% crit chance, which is okay, because whenever you use your 1, you have a chance of critting, so you're going to want that early game crit to help you deal that max amount of damage. As well as his passive is the main reason why I go into this. So his passive is whenever he crits, the poison slows them by 20% and reduces their damage output by 20%. That is a lot of damage reduction. So this item will help out Mercury immensely in the early game, since Mercury, as you may know, is a mid to late game god. Another option here that you can go into is going to be Jotun's Wrath. If you don't want that crit and you like your CDR more, Jotun's Wrath is always a great option. So never forget about Jotun's Wrath, excuse me. But as for this build, we're going into Poison Star. After going into Poison Star here, the next item is going to be Deathbringer. Now the reason why I go into Poison Star then Deathbringer instead of maybe going Poison Star into Jotun's Wrath is because you already have the 50% crit chance, and on top of that you'll have another critical strike chance at 20%, so you have 35% crit chance, which is pretty crazy. So at least 1/3 of your basic attacks will be hitting as a crit, and as well as whenever you crit an enemy, you do 40% more damage. So if you think about it as like this, so if you hit a god for 400, you do 160 extra damage. So you'll be hitting for 560. Now remember though that there's always protections, and obviously if they're tanky and stuff like that, you'll be doing less damage. But if you get a hit on the squishies, you may be actually doing more than 560. You can be doing, you know, like 600 and stuff like that. So it really just depends. And as well as Mercury's passive. So if you keep walking around and stuff like that, what happens is your first basic attack that you hit will do an X amount of damage depending on how much you walked. So realistically, I have actually been hit for around 1.5k with Mercury. It's nuts. You really just have to be good at timing your autos and stuff like that. Anyways, Deathbringer gives you 50 power, which is decent. 20% crit chance, which is good, because like I said before, we already had the 15%. So then after Deathbringer here, the next item we're going to want to be going into is going to be Aussie. Now, Aussie is good early to mid game. You can keep this late game if you like it. But the reason why I choose Aussie for right now is because it gives you 50% physical lifesteal, which isn't too shabby. It's one of the, I think it is tied for one of the highest physical lifesteals in the game. 20% attack speed, which is great because we already have a steroid on top of that. So we'll just be doing extra attack speed. So, sorry, we'll have extra attack speed, and as well as 15 physical pen, which is great for being able to shred down those tanks and towers faster. Now, the main reason, just like Poison Star, why I get this item is because of the passive. So basically, whenever you drop below 35% health, you gain additional 25% physical lifesteal for 5 seconds. So that's a total of 40% physical lifesteal, which is nuts. So basically, whenever you basic a god, you'll be getting 120 to like 150 health back, depending on how much health they have. So this item honestly is amazing if you really think about it. You just have to be able to not panic when you're about to die and just be calm and hit basics. That should be my motto. Be calm, hit basics. So then after Aussie here, the next item you're going to want to go into is going to be Wind Demon. Wind Demon is almost a must on Mercury just because of its passive again, but Anyways, it gives you 40 physical power, which is really good. 20% critical strike chance, which is good because now on top of the 35% critical strike chance, now we have another 20, so it's a 55% crit strike chance. That's literally either every auto or every other auto you'll be hitting for a crit strike, which is nuts, honestly. And as well as it increases your movement speed, which if you don't know, whenever you have a movement speed item, it already increases your damage output by a little bit, and as well as it increases your attack speed by 20% for 5 seconds. So on top of the Yasi here, we'll have another 40% attack speed, and with your 2, as we did earlier, you have 2.38 already, so we'll actually be overcapping with Wind Demon on, which is pretty nuts if you really think about it. So then after all said and done, you're going to be selling your Booma's Mask, and then finally for the last item here, you're going to want to be going into Titan's Bane. The reason why I go into Titan's Bane is because it gives you 30 physical power, which is decent, and as well as 33 physical penetration. So literally, you will be shredding towers with Mercury in an instant. You'll have 2.38 attack speed with its 2 procced as of right now, and you'll have the 33% physical pen. So the tower will probably last maybe 5 seconds, honestly. Like, you'll just shred through this thing. It's not called Titan's Bane for nothing. Anyways, that's been it, guys. If you guys liked the video, make sure you smack that like button. Subscribe to stay updated on my builds. Comment below what you like about the video, how you build your gods, and what god you guys want me to build next. As always, have a great